What up, Schmoedown rockers? Also, excuse me. It was an interesting weekend up to a point. Runner Titans episode 9. Apparently, the title match was the thing, and they set up a free-for-all thing with about the whole number drawing, even though I was just turned out was a farce for another title match. That was basically because it had to happen because of Yama's time was up. So he had to use it at some point. It was the only time available, I guess. So, yeah. Yeah, that match was not good. In the moment, it's a shame that Sam has to go from a great match to retaining his belt against Oyama in a KO, which doesn't look good for him. Which, yeah, now, I don't know how you're going to grow this. And even more with the conversations I've had, yeah, I don't know how you're going to grow this. And the free-for-all, surprisingly, was really, really good for what it was. I still will have to, unfortunately, say 3's still the best. Also because it got to be a live event. And at least this one does trump in the sense of it being a studio event in studio, as opposed to trumps the last one for being in studio. But the moments that happened in the virtual at points were slightly better than what we did get here. And plus, by the time it kind of narrowed itself down to certain particular players, it became kind of predictable who was going to win by that point. Though I think a lot of people, like, personally to me, the person that we had as MVP and the person that wound up winning it, I think we all wished that was the final result instead. Though good on Paul for making it Preston. The Paul Preston, for kudos to at least making it that far. But it was Marisol, former champ, still probably hungry enough to still want that title back again. Yeah. You were going to be on, no matter, you were stuck in a hard place with that one. Not you even made it up to the end, into a sudden death, should be at least a good kudos to you, my man. So, kudos, I guess, in that regard. Not a lot of big names were coming in this time around. It was mostly whatever managers they had that would try to fill the hole that some players they wanted to have weren't going to be able to fill. Doesn't look good when Smash doesn't do as when Kaiser does better than Smash. It's kind of scary. But then again, he's an IG player, so there's that, and he's more zoned in on that than he is on other things. It just doesn't make him look good. And I mean, I'm sure if he studied up on those other things, I'm sure he'd wind up being a top tier player. Don't know if he'd get the belt. I'd like him to, but for now, I guess his IG is and remains his forte. So that's fine. But I will say that it was heartbreaking. The team's match, championship match. Though, let's be honest here. Unless for some reason he just wants to focus on his singles and his IG career and not even focus on teams anymore. Though I think he wants to do the 3 belts thing still. Which, if that is the case... I see... That's the only thing is... Okay, who are they going to get to partner... It's clear Marisol's going to partner with either Kalinowski or Chance. Not sure who. Though I feel a better idea would be to have Kalinowski and her together, because Kalinowski granted not as strong of it, I would say, as Cobra has been, but I could see that working. Working because of how good on the IG side Mike is still to what Marisol's been putting out. So, yeah. That's what I still see on that, unless you start partnering with them. In that case, who you're going to partner Kalinowski up with? Or is Kalinowski just deciding he's going to focus on IG and singles at this point? And given he's done enough already with teams, so with corruption in and of itself, I mean, what else can you do? Plus, Smash is gonna get this, even though, plus Smash is gonna wind up getting that IG belt, dude. Just saying, we're just waiting on who he's gonna face. Who he's ever is gonna face. Is good luck facing Smasher. Let's be freaking real here. Amaru might be the only one that has more of a shot, which I would be worried about. But yeah, no. Smash is gonna do it, and he's gonna get that belt. I believe he will. So, as I've always come to, it's just a shame, Parker and Mara are not available, because those would be even more interesting matches than what we wound up getting between him and Saul. But hopefully Saul will, I don't know, play better than the last match. Hopefully this match is better. If it's not, then what was the point of this? What's even happening? You should have just given it to Amaru to face him. I'm sorry, I don't know. But anyways, his ability to try to rebuild up everything and do it the way he's been doing it is just, it's going to be rough right now. So, and I think more people are more interested in what's going to happen with FCL at this point, if and when that happens, as opposed to this. Hell, you lost people's interest because the Star Wars is hiding behind the Patreon wall, all because you still hate digital and you don't want it to be shown publicly. Yet, for some reason, we gotta care about the Star Wars matches when the championship is on the line, when we need to be invested. But I've already said this as much, man. Of course, I'm Patreon. I still get it, but I feel bad for those who haven't, that don't have the money to do it, and it's. Sorry, but from what I hear, Dan Murrow cares more about his patrons than fucking Harloff does. That makes me sad. Though he cares enough to godfather some of us who are still in their legacy tiers, so it ain't that bad. I'll give him that, but it's just not. I'm still watching it, but I'm not. But most of my peeps I've hung with, unfortunately, I think they're just hate watching it, and it's not gonna lie, it's starting to rub off on me sometimes, and that bugs me a little bit. So, but I can tell you that the teams match was awesome, regardless of whether or not you are hate watching it or not. It's just a shame that it had to be followed up with what wound up being him cashing it in just on Sam, and it mounting to nothing but a bit of a unfortunate slab on his resume. To wait this long and not deliver on a good match, I'm sorry, but Amma needs a dungeon a little bit just to build himself back up, I guess, the way it's looking. I don't know. That's just me, I guess. Sure, I mean, Winston probably was for a while, but, this was the time where, yeesh, the only good it's going to do you is in teams when you partner with the Coyote and become dominant. So good luck facing the system, though. I still think they're going to be strong, or at least it seems the database is going to be the stronger player. And Janine, hopefully, if she can play like she did last season, I think we'll be fine. But, I mean, Irwin was a tough hill to climb anyways. Oof. Oof. But anyways, those are my thoughts on the match. Also, congrats to the MVP. Also, apparently Saul's no longer in the den. Somehow the change of heart from the whatever thing Ben was saying, they discussed, though I'm starting to wonder if there's more to it than that. And that post-cred scene, what in the actual fuck was that? Don't get me wrong, Peggy. Good, kind of good for you, but I feel like it's a farce. Farce to set up for whoever is his partner, and he's going to stick with it, I guess. I mean, they lost Saul, so I guess that does leave room for whoever's going to be his partner in this match, and I think that's going to be a permanent team. Which means, and it's someone in the Patreon, and as someone who is in Ben's Patreon, I can definitely tell you it's not me. He didn't even bother to talk about our match. I kind of don't blame him. I wasn't great. I mean, he wasn't 100% either, but he still did better than me. Though everyone is surprised I made the poll I did for City of Angels. A question involving City of Angels, but anyone who's seen this channel knows how I already kind of knows my thoughts on Goo Goo Dolls, or at least the Prime stuff. So you know I'd know that one. Yeesh. But seriously, Ben, you're going to try to... I don't think he's really going to partner with her. I think it's that part's a farce. I don't think her being not... I don't know, maybe she is still going to be in the den, but I don't think she's really going to be her partner. His partner. I think it's still going to be whoever he picks. And I think... like, the way this came about... what the fuck was this? Ben, what... I'm pissed. I'm pissed I gotta go do something to see Father Stu. Because I want to ask some damn fucking questions. While I'm there. And I already know it's not the two people that did beat your ass. Because they were in the Zoom I was in when we saw this shit. Which automatically means, even though he could be throwing a farce on it, that somehow he chose to get quiz show. When Carol was better. That's my thoughts on that. And so was Quinto. Gotta back some of my boys. And don't get me wrong, Jeff ain't bad, but we know better. We know better. How dare you? How dare you? We'll see how this pans out. If it's a heel turn, if it's a heel farce thing with Peggy, with them, with this whole thing, because it makes no fucking sense. Especially given, I like Peggy, person, and she's technically not a bad, she beat Paige, which, she's probably one of the few people who did beat Paige, for Betty, which Ben did not, and except in a teams match, which, yeah, so, I don't know, but it's... Also, it was nice to see also the FCL champion, Travis Fishburne, as well as a few, aside from Peggy herself, a couple other people that have been in the FCL kind of coming around. After this, it'd be stupid for Fishburne not to move up the ranks at some point and join the Schmoedown. Hell, I'd be happy to have him in the dungeon. He could be that 5th member. Who knows? That'd be very interesting. Unless they're setting up something with the Syndicate in the freaking FCL, because it seemed like they were setting up for that. All I do know is I don't think Marzonia's given... And plus, Marzonia was actually got to play in this, and if that previews any indication, yeah, he's not beating Fishburne. His luck's run completely out. I know I could be wrong, but nah, he's just been lucky this entire time. And he's probably just good at 3-rounders instead of 5s. I don't know. Because there's no way he's beating Travis. But anyways, what did you get? I mean, that's some of my thoughts. What did I miss? Especially about the free-for-all, for sure. That you'd like to talk about. Oh, yeah, speaking of Ben, yeah, that he'll probably be bragging in the... For sure. I could tell he's like... Oh, sorry about that coat here. I should have taken that off. But, yeah. I could tell he's bragging. He's got some bragging rights. In terms of, like, the tables. Even though it's not the same as in Draco's, because this is 5 and... is X5XX, not... X4XXX. So it's not even nearly as impressive as the past one. So even the ones that happened on last year's, and that was digital. So, but it's still a fun one, regardless. But there wasn't anything major other than actually one thing specifically. And that's the return of Mark and Draco. And bigger question, what's he gonna think of Roxy's new attitude? And what he's been doing. Will he be on board for it? Or will he decide to find a new home? Or just go on his own? I mean, I could see that happening. Though I have a weird, fucked up feeling that if that does happen, are they going to be silly and have him partner with Jacoby? Because I could weirdly see that being something that will happen. I don't know. Because swag is full, that's out of the question. But Dungeon ain't. And Draco would be a nice fit. I think he could be a good fit for us. Not to mention, you know, I think he's quite favored to Janine. So I'd say he'd probably want to go there. If not, he'd probably wind up joining... The only other thing is he could probably join the Mercs, and that would make sense. I just think that would make sense. But those are my thoughts so far. I'm sorry it's long, but there was a lot happened that was needed to cover, and plus I had a couple rants about some things that I just couldn't honestly keep to myself. Also, speaking of Sam, congratulations on your you and Rachel's marriage. Apparently you guys got married this past weekend. Congrats. Best wishes to the birthday buddy and the missus. And the Mrs. Rachel Levine. She'll probably still go by Cushing anyways for like the show, but it's just Rachel Levine. I mean, unless it's Cushing Levine, maybe. I don't know how they're going to put that. It's possible that's how they'll do it. Maybe. But what do you guys think of this, of both the Free-for-All 5 and this past week's Friday Night Titans leading up to it. Leave a comment below. Let me know. Also, link in the description to all my socials, including the dungeon page, home of the future IG champ, home of the future team champs, the system. Maybe in Draco? Maybe. Dungeon hasn't been, at least the free-for-all art dungeon hasn't been as free-for-all as last year, but at this point, I'd just be happy if Smash got the IG title, and if Janine finally gets a goddamn belt. And if Ben eventually gets the team's belt at some point, too. Because I'm tired of him not getting it after so many times. But yeah. What did you guys think? Leave a comment below. Leave a comment below. Let me know. If you like this video, rock the like button with thrust if you must. Links. Well, I mean, click the notification bell. Hit the subscribe button. Click the notification bell to get all there. And yeah. If you smell what the movie Trivial Schmoedown Rocks, Skype Entertainment, and so on and so forth is cooking. Yeah. Schmoedown, hopefully the FC at some point. Ooh, yeah. Dig it. Also, a little side note, I forgot to mention, if you haven't seen the TV trivia episode, it's not bad. Slightly pain of things, but it's pretty good. For what it is, it's not bad for... And I guess I'm somewhat looking forward to being one of the few patrons out there that's probably going to get to see... That's somewhat still, at least, somewhat excited to see what Star Wars is going to be. But anyways, that's up to a point that I hadn't already mentioned. But anyways, take care, y'all.